Baby, I'm ready to go.
Such a good song.
Hello, friends. Welcome to User Friendly, episode 82.
Sure.
My name is Roberto Oyas, and I am the owner of throwboy.com. I'm here with my friend.
Everyone Elijah, you might know me from the Cultcast podcast. Makers of the Cultcast, the finest Apple podcast in the land.
That's where I get my news.
And reviews and how-tos.
Yes. Back for another episode, and User Friendly is a weekly show where we talk about tech and sometimes the news.
All things geek.
And all things
the word that we...
dweeb.
All things dweeb. No, I feel like dweeb is really actually nerdy. We can't say that. But I don't like... We decided that we don't like saying the word geek because geek is so overused now.
Yeah.
And I really don't even want to use it anymore. I really don't.
Yeah, it's tough. I feel like I use it for marketing purposes, you know?
Yeah.
But I still sort of feel like, yeah, it's overused. Like, internet.
It's way overused. Like, yeah, if you're in my presence and you say the word YouTubes, I will slap you.
The Twitters.
And I can't even control it. In my body, that's just the reaction I have.
How do you listen to the Nerdist podcast?
I don't listen to the Nerdist podcast.
That's all he does, right?
Does he say that kind of stuff?
That's where
I think
you told me he did.
Yeah. YouTube's, internets, the webs.
It always just makes me feel like it's people that are a little out of touch and they're using those words.
Those words, I feel, are things that people used to say to make themselves seem cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been so overused. At one time, I think that probably actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize that people just say them now because they're in our vernacular, unfortunately. But I feel like they're so overused now that really, it's like hearing a dad say it.
It just depends.
Hey, are you on the YouTubes?
Yeah.
And he's trying to be hip. That's how I always hear it.
Well, I don't know. A lot of words are like that because it's like hipster, right? Like that, to me, that's an overused word. But to some people, that's just a descriptor, right?
That's true. I was at Urban Outfitters today, and I saw this book on... It was basically a taxonomy of hipsters and what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
This thing was genius. I've never seen anyone break out the classifications of hipsters. And this lady who wrote it is genius because she had them all in there. Like if you go to Ballard, you'll see every single person in there. There's the guy with the gauges
mm-hmm.
and the arm tattoos and the fixie bike, right? There's like
it's from Portlandia.
yeah, that's what they're everywhere here, especially in San Francisco. And then there's sorry about the bus. It's hot in here. And then there's the urban hunter. It's the guy with the beard, and he might have a beanie, and he wears like the really old vintage, flannel shirts and the really stiff jeans that he never washes.
Dude, this reminds me of something I just posted. Can you go to Facebook?
Yeah,
and
it's my favorite website.
I have to show you something. This fits really well with work. Go to my Facebook.
I took that picture. Oh, weird.
Hurry.
Okay, sorry, we're going to your Facebook.
Yeah.
Is it just Roberto?
Yeah. And go down one thing. Click on that.
This one?
The bit.ly, yeah. Okay, read the first one. First preface, this is from College Humor. 6 things less annoying than the jokes made about them. Read this about hipsters.
See that guy with an iPhone? Hipster. See that guy with an Android? Just some tech hipster reacting against iPhones. See that guy with an old-timey rotary phone? Oh, what an effing hipster. I added the effing.
Yeah, keep
going.
going.
It has a real F-bomb in there. Oh, and that dude in the trendy plaid shirt that everyone is wearing. But also dude with the $2 thrift store t-shirt that no one else is wearing. Somehow, both hipsters. Look at that guy buying tickets to some obscure art house film. I know some of those guys. And that guy going to a big blockbuster, probably to enjoy it ironically. Hipster and hipster. And the girl with those old-fashioned glasses, and that girl with the 2 modern glasses, and the girl wearing contact lenses. Because, what? Too cool for glasses? Jeans too tight? Hipster. Too short? Hipster. They're effing everywhere. It's like, can't you just do things the way a normal person would do them, instead of trying to be all cool by doing something I wouldn't do? It's like, get over yourself.
That's so good. It's so spot on.
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. There are people.
You sound like that sometimes when you get too into it.
That's because there are people who are truly hipsters. And it's not just because they're doing something that you're not doing. They're doing something that is really freaking hipster.
What does that even mean anymore?
I think it puts you into a classification where you're trying to do something, you're trying to fit like maybe like a fashion, or you wear your hair, like your beard hair in a particular way, or you're trying to look like a certain type of person and have very particular tastes. And you're doing it, in my opinion, to be unique and to be recognized for your counter, culture, personality, fashion sense. But then there's a whole class of people who look exactly like you, who are trying to do the exact same thing that you're doing. So you're not as unique as you think you are.
Oh, okay.
So like for example, the people with the gauges, arm tattoos, fixie bicycle, have a very distinct style, and you'll see them in all major cities, San Francisco, Seattle, New York, and they look counterculture, but then they have the exact same fashion sense as other people who live in other cities, and they all look exactly the same. Like if you put them in the same room together, and you had to go into that room, you'd hear like the same conversations, and they would all be into the exact same thing. So it's not that unique anymore.
That's like any group of people though. Hip hop.
That's true. Yeah.
Surfer.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's true.
So why does this stand out to be so obnoxious?
I don't necessarily think it's obnoxious, honestly. I just think it's funny. But there are some people. I remember seeing a poll that I forget who did it, and they were asking regular people what they thought of hipsters, and they just thought they were annoying. I guess for me, where I have a problem with it is if the person doing it is coming at it, they're very highbrow about it, and they think that they're in some way superior or can't talk to you because they're so artsy that you just won't understand what they're saying. And you like that old joke, right? It's like, I don't listen to that band. As soon as they got popular, I stopped. I can't like Coldplay. They're too good, or they're too popular now.
Yeah.
And then that's when I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of annoying.
I guess that's the thing. To me, it's an attitude, not a style of dress.
I think that's true.
You know
it's a
what I
state
mean?
of hipster's a state of mind.
Well, it really
that's a T-shirt someone needs to make.
It's really an attitude more than it is like, because you could call me one because I wear big glasses and I have like tight pants, But it's like I don't act like that. Like I don't act like I'm too good for people to talk to people.
Yeah, no, you don't.
And that's the thing. That's how I feel when I talk to people like you said in Ballard and stuff, where they're just like.
And then you almost kind of feel like they frown upon you.
Yeah, they have this like disapproving look about everything.
Yeah, because you're not smoking like a Marlboro.
Because I'm not being a dick to other people, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel personally.
See, and that's kind of my approach. Like I'm usually really mean to people.
Yeah.
But I don't have to look.
Yeah.
But it's not working.
I look like a nice guy.
I look like a nice guy because I smile, and then you talk to me. I'm just like. I can't believe that you would have the audacity to think I'm going to talk to you.
We got in such a rant. So anyway, how have you been?
Fantastic. Never been better.
Yeah. What
I'm
have you
living
been
the
up
dream. I can't think of anything in particular besides just working on the Cultcast. It's the same thing every week. I feel like I'm talking about the same thing every week.
Wow, that's good.
Working on making the Cultcast better for you. That is my
good.
number one priority. And other than that, really looking forward to PAX.
Oh yeah.
Really looking forward to
How long
Penny
until
Arcade
we
Expo.
go? We're gonna go.
We are going
hand in hand.
19 arm in arm.
That's right.
Technically. 19 days until PAX, the Penny Arcade Expo, which is one of the largest video game conventions
in the world.
And one of the biggest, it's definitely the biggest convention that I go to. There's like 90,000 plus people. Super, super fun. And it's going to be just 4 days of video games. As many of you know, I'm really into video games. We've got 2 new consoles.
Yeah.
So,
are you going both days or all days?
I believe I'm just going Saturday, Sunday.
Cool.
So if you guys are going, if anyone out there watching is going, you should let us know. We would love to meet up with you and just say hi.
Have a beer.
Possibly a beer, maybe snort a line.
Yeah.
Who knows where the night will take us.
I'll have beer and lines in my backpack.
I will have shrooms.
Yeah.
And lines and my duffel bong and beers.
Duffel bong. You still got that?
No, it's actually, I don't remember what happened to it. I think we had to ditch it in the forest or something because This is gonna go into way off. I'm not even gonna tell this story. I'm not gonna tell this story because it's just really weird. We had to ditch it after we got in a car accident.
All right.
Yeah.
So cool. Was there something else you were gonna say before we got to the first topic? Why is there a thing of
Justin Bieber on your Facebook page?
It was the thing you just clicked on.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah.
He's not a hipster. What?
It's not about hipsters. It's about 6 things less annoying than the jokes made about them.
Okay, I didn't follow that. Hey, let's talk about Apple.
All right.
So, good news, friends. September 10th is looking like the big day for Apple's iPhone event. This has been predicted by All Things D. The great thing about All Things D...
Everything's a D.
They have a lot of Ds working
Everyone's
there.
a D.
Yeah. And they hardly are ever wrong. In fact, when they announce something, it's pretty much taken as fact. This is going to happen. So set an event on your calendar. It's probably going to be 10 a.m. on September 10th, and we're expecting a new iPhone, obviously. Mm-hmm. And Tim Cook did say we're gonna have an army of products come fall.
Such a weird adjective, dude.
So I'm really excited. I think this is really exciting. I need a new Mac.
Yeah, you do.
I'm not getting a new iPhone because I'll probably just wait for iPhone 6. But hopefully we'll get a iPad Mini Retina. I don't think we will, but hopefully we will. I'm holding out for that. But it's going to be a cool event because finally we'll have all the products that Apple has been working on for the last umpteen months. We haven't gotten anything new. This has been a really slow year.
Yeah, what's the last release? The MacBook Air?
The MacBook Air, but before that was 9 months.
Yeah.
9 months!
Y'all. I don't know. I'm excited to see what goes down because I'm more wondering what this budget iPhone's going to look like. Mm-hmm. If that's what's going to happen, I don't know.
Do you think that you might actually get one?
No. I don't really want to get anything yet. I was actually just thinking about this yesterday. Next iPhone, I think I want to do the buy it straight up and then go with like a Virgin Mobile contract where I pay like $30 a month, you know?
I would consider doing that.
I'm going to do that. That's my goal, is like start saving now and put away some money, like, and then by the time I'm ready, I'll have like $700 dedicated for the next iPhone.
Yeah.
So I'm not paying $129, $129, I think is what I pay sometimes.
Holy.
Yeah.
AT&T, I wish AT&T would do that, and they're smart. They don't do it because they don't want people to be paying less for their cell phone plans. How much? Because I would totally do that too.
How crazy is that plan, though, dude?
That's ridiculous. Why is your plan so expensive?
I'm not sure. I just know that it's expensive.
Do you have unlimited text messaging and all that stuff?
No. I had the base cheap one since the beginning of the iPhone. And it's always just been carried over.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I never took away my unlimited data, I don't think.
Me either.
All that stuff's still intact, but it's like, I don't think that I ever even get close to that, reaching the real cap. And I'm just like, dude, I'll do the other network. I mean, I rarely have trouble with network issues because I live in a big city. So I'm like...
I don't think...
And I would much rather pay a lot less. Because don't you say like $1,500 over the life of your phone for 2 years?
Well, if you're... How much is the T-Mobile plan?
Like $40 a month?
Well, gosh. I mean, yeah.
Not T-Mobile, Virgin Mobile.
Oh, Virgin Mobile. Yeah. So if it was $40 a month plus tax, let's just say you're paying... Well, let's just stick with 40. If you're paying $130 now, then yeah, you're making almost $100 a month. So you're going to save probably like $2,200.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So that's my next...
I would totally do that if I could save a significant amount of money. Because if you think about it, if you were going to pay for your hardware up front, then AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, whatever, they should be giving you a big discount on your service because they're not subsidizing your phone.
Yeah.
And AT&T won't. I mean, if you bring your own iPhone to AT&T, they'll charge you full price all year long. And you know, tough. If you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I've often thought about getting a cheapy phone, you know, something that just because of the bills being like really high.
It's insanely high.
But then I'm like, yeah, but I just really like my iPhone.
I do too. I
really do. Like, it's hard for me to. It sounds stupid to say, but I just don't like leaving without my iPhone.
I like my iPhone too. I hear you, man. I'm not going to be going to it.
I've literally had an iPhone since 2008 when they came out. The first iPhone.
Wow. When did I get one?
You were poser. You got one in the iPhone 3GS.
Poser, man. Waiting for the 3GS. Yeah, I was on a contract when the first one came out. Not to mention the fact...
Don't say the first one was lame, because it was the coolest thing in the world when it came out.
No, I wasn't going to say that it was lame. I was going to say that there's not a chance in hell I was going to pay $600 for an iPhone.
Neither was I.
And then pay full price for my data plan and everything.
I got it for free because I worked at Apple.
Yes.
So...
Irony is, though, I paid $600 for this thing, subsidized.
Yeah,
this is the 32GB model.
You were out of your contract.
I wasn't totally.
I wasn't
100% qualified for a new phone, but I really wanted to be on the iPhone 6 cycle.
I think I would just really miss apps. Like, there's apps that I'm pretty invested in using all the time, and not to mention business stuff.
Yep.
I just it's too bad. But I have fun with new apps. You know, like that's cool.
I do too.
That I would miss doing that if I went to like some cheapy Android phone or something, you know.
Plus, I have an Apple podcast. Got to have an Apple phone, you know. I know Buster switched. If you watched Cultcast, Buster switched to Android for a little while. I don't know how long he's gonna be on Android for. And I'm like, how does that work? Because you write for an Apple website.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be using Apple products, and he is for the most part. But
dude, Andy Anako changed. Leo Laporte is not on.
Dude. I don't even think Leo Laporte likes Apple anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he does Mac Break Weekly, but I never hear him genuinely get excited about Apple products anymore.
Neither do I. It's always something comparing to what this new Android phone is better at doing or whatever. But the experience is so much different. I like listening to people's opinions about Apple when they can actually break it down and say why they like the Apple phone, not just because it's Apple, you know?
Yeah.
Or like why they like a certain app on iOS versus their version of it for Android. I mean, Android is so, like, I don't mean to sound like a fanboy, but like anytime I've played with somebody's Android, it's so fragmented. Like that Heads Up app, when I showed our friend on Android, he's like, oh, can I get that on Android? I'm like, you can try, dude, but there's like 9 fake versions on that stupid Play Store.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, how lame is that? They have all of these like crappy published apps that are not official that you have to wade through. I'm like, what normal everyday citizen is gonna know how to do that, right?
Yeah, I don't think that most people would. I think young people would figure it out no problem, but older people probably not. My thing with Android is I think that it looks good from afar, but it's far from good. And every time I've actually...
It's a total Monet.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And when you get up close to it, it's just so lurchy and the screen jumps around. Yeah. It's just not a good experience for me. And I really like to have a super polished UI. To me, I feel like they never have that.
It's like buying a Mac, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure, we could save a few $100 if we bought a Windows computer. But
yeah,
there's going to be so many things that is not going to be like elegant that we like, you know?
Exactly. It might look fancy. I have to use a PC during the week.
This giant PC.
I have this freaking monster PC.
It rivals the thickness of mine.
Yeah, it looks like from Dude, You're Getting a Dell days.
Oh yeah.
You know, and this is a new computer.
Is it?
Yeah, it's less than a year old.
I didn't even know they made them that thick anymore.
Oh, all day long.
Okay.
So this thing has the nubbin in the middle, you know, those little orange nubbins, which are just ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
And it's got no less, not joking, the trackpad is small, and it has no less than 6 buttons around it. 6 buttons. And the buttons on the top, I finally figured out what they are for. It's for when you're using the nubbin, right? So you got your hand on the nubbin, and then you need the buttons for your fingers below, but then if you're using the trackpad, you need the buttons below the trackpad.
Yeah.
For using the trackpad. So I'm using the trackpad, right? And I'm like scrolling over stuff. It misses scrolls all the time. It like I scroll, it just doesn't do anything. I tap on something sometimes, even with the button, 2-3 times before it registers the fact that I've clicked.
I know what you mean.
And it's little stuff like that makes you just be like, oh my gosh, this is the stuff. Like my trackpad on my Mac.
It's like your right hand, right?
It's hyper accurate, and I can use it to do graphic work.
Yeah.
And when you take your finger off the trackpad, your cursor doesn't lurch, like a half inch.
All of that, those tiny little things. I mean, those shave off time for doing your productivity
and they
stuff.
piss you off.
Yeah, they piss you off. But I mean, the fact that you can just sit down and like you remember when I didn't have a Mac for like 3 months. And all the clunky
was it only
work.
3 months?
It might have been more. All the clunky work I had to do with that PC, and it was basically like having a what do you call it? A Google what do they call them? Chromebook, because I was doing everything in the browser. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is a pipe dream. I don't think you can survive in the browser. I don't think somebody that isn't just like your mom and dad who use Facebook cannot survive in just a freaking browser. It's a niche farce. Product. It's a farce. People can't actually do that. Like, I don't even think a college student could do that, honestly. I don't think you could give a college student a bunch of Chromebooks and have them, here you go, now that's your computer for your college years. Yeah, right. Can you imagine?
The amount of effort you would have to exert just to make everything work, I think would just be immense.
Crazy. Yeah. My I just remember this because my aunt gave my cousin a Chromebook for his graduation gift, and I was just like, oh, like we were both kind of like, what are we even gonna do? Like, can you do anything with this? Like, he couldn't even use it because our grandma's house didn't have Wi-Fi, so you can't even like try it. It's just like a brick. It's a total marketing thing in my opinion, because there's not much you can do with it.
I think it's probably like Google Glass. It sounds good, and then you use it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems with this. This kind of sucks.
The idea doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah, Google Glass doesn't sound good to me either, but apparently it does, especially when there's like not a lot of tech news. That's when it's super popular.
I already have that little Bluetooth ear thing that records video.
That's right.
So that is already my Google Glass.
He's like Roberto of Borg. You Star Trek fans will get that. All right, cool. Hey, one more thing about the iPhone I wanted to mention. You may have noticed if you live in the U.S., well, maybe not even the U.S., I guess just on the West Coast, your phone started beeping at you with those freaking Amber Alerts. I have never gotten one of these before. So apparently we have this thing called the Amber Alert system where the police can interrupt your television shows, your radio, and broadcast if there's a child missing.
Right.
Fantastic service.
Yeah.
But the problem on the iPhone is, and I've never seen this happen before, is that they can ignore your notification rules. And all of a sudden, I was having these freaking Amber Alerts pop up on my phone really late at night. I mean, probably at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. They were popping up, and I was like, I have my notifications set so that no one can get through my phone past, I don't know, like 10:30 or something.
Oh, right.
And this thing's popping up, and I'm like, I'm like, if I'm on the street or something, that's cool. I don't mind you interrupting me, but not when I'm in bed. That's
why
bogus.
would that? Yeah, that seems so strange. What are you really gonna do at that point? Like, no. Honey, let's hop out of bed and go looking for this kid.
They need to make Amber Alerts obey your notification rules on your iPhone. There's no reason that I should have no control over this. Well, I figured out that you could actually disable the Amber Alerts entirely. And this is stupid because instead of letting you just control what times that you can get them, you can either just leave them on or turn them off entirely. And all you have to do is just go into settings, then you go onto your notifications thing. And we don't need to film this. You can find it. Just go into your notification settings, scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's two check boxes.
Amber Alerts and emergency alerts.
Exactly.
What's emergency alerts?
World War III has been declared.
Really?
King Jong-un has hit the red button.
King Kong
Un is from North Korea has hit the red button. And the nukes are on their way. They'll probably fall into the ocean.
It just
and
texts
explode.
you duck and cover.
Yeah. Kiss your ass goodbye. It's been a good ride. You sent this to me. Signed, the government.
Plays like a Beatles song for you.
Yeah, plays some Doomsday song so you can huddle around your family with it. So if you want to shut off Amber Alerts, you can do so. Just go into notifications, scroll all the way to the bottom.
Cool.
Quick note.
Yeah.
For those of you who've been watching for a while.
Namaste.
Have you been? Thank you for putting up with us for over a year. You may know I started a clothing brand ages ago, 4.5, 5 years ago, called Might Tees. And alas, Might Tees' time has come and gone. I'm actually going to be closing it. It's a good thing. It's kind of been lingering for a while, and as I've got busier with Cultcast and other things, I just have kind of lost my passion for it. So I'm going to be closing it, but we have a lot of great t-shirts left, and especially a lot of Apple-inspired t-shirts, which, have taken me a far way. When I started My Tees, I didn't know Leander Caney, and that put me in touch with him, and I started writing for Cult of Mac, and then that got me into the Cultcast years later. So even though My Tees isn't really kind of a thing that I'm wanting to work on anymore, it led me into this whole other avenue that is, kind of growing and flourishing. So We're going to be selling out all of our stock at special prices, but I thought I would offer everyone watching a discount code if you're interested in purchasing something. All the money goes to the business and to me, so if you want to support me in some way, this is a good way to do that. Just go to MikeTees.com, and the code is going to be UF50. That's for 50% off your order. It's the biggest discount we've ever given.
Crazy.
And we're just going to be selling everything until we're sold out, and at which point we're going to close digital doors. I'm going to flick my thumb at everyone. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a sad salute, have a drink, clinks to the Mike Tees, and wish it fare thee well as I move on to another chapter in my life.
Let's cheers to... You have a glass?
I don't have anything in it.
Neither do I. Maybe that's the symbolic.
How symbolic? Oh, we're getting pretty dark. I might need to hit a light over there.
No, we're fine. I'll do it in...
Look, the reason they can see us is because of my freaking Mac's...
We can see. I'll do it in digital. I'll turn up the brightness.
We're being lit by the light of my Mac. How poetic.
Yeah, but dude, it's been a good run though, right?
Yeah.
We met because of it.
We met through Mike Tees.
I met him because he had a Facebook ad, and I thought his T-shirt was cool, and then I found out it was this guy in Seattle.
And we lived in the same city.
Yeah.
So I don't have any regrets. When I started Mike Tees, I knew I had kind of a vision for what I wanted to do, and I said, this may not work, and if it doesn't, that's okay. I will just try it and give it my best. And ultimately what happened is I just kind of lost my passion for it, like I said, and I think when you lose your passion for something, that's really when you need to stop doing it.
Also, it's like Steve Jobs when he was talking about his college experience when he learned calligraphy, and he didn't see any real reason for why that would help him in the future, but that ultimately did help with the first Mac and how it was focused with really nice typography. It was the first time a computer ever gave a crap about that kind of thing, right? He's like, that probably wouldn't have ever happened if it wasn't for this calligraphy class that I took. And that kind of thing can actually, that's kind of akin to what you could ultimately end up doing if you end up doing product or any of the stuff that you've learned.
If I end up as the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch at some point.
But I mean, really, like you probably learned a lot of stuff about sourcing, manufacturing, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I think more than anything else, maybe secondary to having it taken me to Cult Mac and Cultcast, is that I did something, I stuck with it. Yeah. And I think that's important, to stick with something even when it's hard and just do it and keep your feet pumping. And I did that, and you get to a point where you're like, okay, this is not going to work. I don't want to keep doing this, and then that's fine. You just close it. Mm-hmm. But I like your example too. It's like you can't connect the dots going forward. You can only connect them looking back. Mm-hmm. Steve Jobs, live long and prosper.
Real Steve Jobs quote, actually.
I love seeing fake Steve Jobs quote. I love seeing Steve Jobs quotes of things that he said where he was quoting other people.
I hate that.
But they're attributing that quote to him, and the reason I love it so much is because I know how much it would annoy you if you saw it.
It's so funny though, because it's so Steve Jobs, because he was his own thing, but he also was very adamant about being a fan of things, right? So him quoting things, like he was a very adamant Bob Dylan fan, Beatles fan, lots of different things, right? And so now he's like our Thomas Edison or whatever right now. And so people are attributing these other quotes to him because he's like...
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Like stuff like that that are not his quotes. It would probably bother other people if they were fans to the point where they knew his real quotes, right?
And it's easy to take a soundbite and people really admire Steve Jobs and then use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because most of the quotes I see are things that he said, but he was quoting somebody or some magazine or something. Yeah. And people were like, "Wow, he's a visionary!" Like little things he would say.
So dumb.
Like that wasn't his.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Any hoot.
So the code is UF50. Please make your purchases at MikeTees.com if you would like to get yourself a cool T-shirt. Those Captain Picard ones. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be sad to see those go. Yeah. Those are arguably my favorite ones.
I have one.
I have one too. But you have the OG one though.
Yeah. I modeled for it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Shirtless. And I was like, why did you take your shirt off? He's like, what?
That's what I was supposed to do, right?
That's how I model.
I had a weight in my hand.
Yeah. I was like, and where did you get that dumbbell?
Why are you wearing overalls?
Those are great looking overalls, but it's not really the scene we're going for. If you're gonna wear them, can you wear both of the shoulder straps and not just one?
I was going for a Joey Lawrence thing.
Yeah, we never used those photos. Strangely, I lost them. They somehow got deleted off my memory card.
I hope we're not too dark because I don't want to get up, and I don't want you to get up because I don't want to edit.
Dude, we're pretty dark.
I don't want to edit anything.
I mean, you're pretty dark.
Okay.
But let's just go like this.
I don't want to edit it.
All right, you don't have to. Let's just, hey, let's do this. Let's do the Kickstarter. Let's wrap up with the Kickstarter because we had one more.
Yeah.
I think we should just wrap it up with that. Because
right.
we got on all sorts of tangents this show.
Yeah, we did.
As per the usual.
Okay. We don't know anything about this.
So this thing is called the NFC ring. We're not sure if it's meant for sexy time or what. But Roberto said he saw this and he wanted us to look at this video. So you ready?
Yeah.
Introducing the NFC ring, wearable technology that can be used to unlock doors and mobile phones, transfer information, link people, and much more. If you've not heard of NFC, it stands for Near Field Communication, a wireless technology that can transfer data over very short distances. Built into the ring are two tiny transmitters, one for public information, the other for private data. That's all. No batteries, no need for charging, no fuss. Just a low-profile ring that can be worn all the time to help perform everyday tasks simply by touching your hand against an NFC-enabled
Oh, it's for the hand!
So, what can it do? It can unlock your
makes much more sense
NFC-enabled
now.
phone without the need to enter a PIN or even touch the screen. Grab yourself an NFC door
It's
lock
also
and it
great
can
for
lock
bar
and unlock
fights.
your door. Use it to share information, Wi-Fi
Dutch style.
passwords, links to websites or photos, contact information, or anything else you think is suitable to be shared with your friends' devices. It
can we
be
see a
set to
real
hold
one,
your
please?
public Bitcoin address, for example, so you can receive payments. Or you could use the NFC ring to automatically launch apps with custom settings, making it a really easy way to
moving gears, I like
personalize
those.
experiences
I wanna get one of
to match your
these.
ring. On top of all that, the software we've developed is open source, so you're free to invent your own uses and create applications to have it act however you want. This is just the beginning. We've got big plans for the NFC ring, and we believe that this tiny piece of wearable technology can make a big difference. Thanks for watching, and thank you for your support.
Ugh. Thanks for not showing me the real thing.
Wow. Well, it's just a ring. It's like, what are they going to show you? It's
A
like
person
it's a freaking
saying,
ring.
like, look, we invented this.
Okay, so they have some. So I think it makes sense that this is a British thing. They're raising it in pounds. I think that makes a lot of sense because every time I get into a conversation about NFC regarding the US, my first question is why? We don't use them. We don't use NFC here for anything. And there's not even any really place that I can think of that you could use it unless you're going to buy a bag of chips from the gas station.
Even that probably wouldn't work.
And those freaking things are always broken anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to like use this where? I don't know.
So, this seems silly. It really does. I mean, what's the thing that you carry with you all the time now? Your phone.
Your phone.
Why do you need another thing that's specifically
flask.
gonna do the things that your phone could do if it had NFC?
That was exactly what I was thinking.
I mean,
why would you need this?
You're not gonna leave the house without your phone in your hand.
Well, there's obviously people who really think this is cool. I mean, it was trying to raise 30,000 pounds.
Yeah.
It's at 173,000. So man, it's got
That
7 days
doesn't
to go.
prove anything to me. Kickstarters don't prove anything to me.
I don't think they do to
me
me either.
I guess I don't know. It's tough to say, but there's a lot of times where there's Kickstarters that their ideas just seem really niche and really silly, but they hit that kind of tech, pulse, and then people think that they really are going to love it and use it all the time. Look at the Pebble. The Pebble is not a success story
I never
anymore.
understood the hype behind the Pebble.
The Pebble was like a big Kickstarter, but is anybody going like, love that Pebble?
Nobody.
Using it all the time? No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think the Pebbles, like Google Glass, is like this. Is that it's new and novel, so it gets a lot of people's attention. They get excited about it, and there are probably people. I mean, only 6,000 people have backed this, so that's not very many people at all.
Yeah.
And they might be the people who are really into new, cool tech. That's great. As far as a practical use for this, I don't really see one. Not to mention, here's the big thing.
Who likes to wear rings?
Who likes to wear rings?
Yeah.
Especially guys.
Yeah.
How many guys do you know that like to wear rings? Every time I see guys with rings on, especially thumb rings, you might as well say internets, YouTubes, interwebs, which is the worst offense to me. I just because I don't like rings at all, and I don't like wearing rings, and especially thumb rings. I used to wear those in middle school, and that's what it reminds me of. And I was a pretty big chode in middle school.
I want earrings.
I mean, I was pretty cool, but I was still a chode.
One earring.
Yeah, one earring. Oh, I hope they build this into a nose ring or into a Prince Albert. That would actually be more useful.
Just really any kind of wearable is still iffy to me, dude. Like, we could easily be wearing wrist wearables right now, but I mean, what extra value do you really get out of them?
That's the big question for this.
Like, I started running, and I downloaded the Nike app, and I use that.
Yeah.
And it has a GPS on my phone, so it knows where I go. I don't need to go buy a Fitbit. Why do I need to buy it?
Does the GPS work okay from your pocket?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, because usually GPS has problems with
I mean, like, really, what is the big sell there that makes it so much better than the thing that you already are going to have in your pocket and carry with you? That's the argument, right?
Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. And again, I mean, if I'm going to have NFC, I'd want it to be on my phone.
Yeah.
And in the US, NFC is kind of a non-starter.
DOA. Yeah.
NFC is DOA.
Yeah.
So there's just not any reason that we would want to use this. It is fun to make sexual innuendo jokes though about it.
And it's LAME.
Yeah. DEFT.
Yeah.
That doesn't really add anything to the conversation. I'm just trying to.
You could have kept it going.
Said,
but,
yeah. NAACP. RESPECT.
So that's what we feel.
Oh, look at all these weird looking prototypes.
That looks really sexual, actually.
It really does.
It looks like somebody's porn drawer.
The prototypes.
The pink one, especially. That looks like a long night in Vegas. All right.
Cool. All right, let's wrap it up there. These definitely look like sex toys.
Or gauge earrings or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny. At least he has good handwriting.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have a use for this kind of thing, have fun. But I don't.
Dude,
they're not a mainstream product in my opinion.
Freaking, I cannot believe how much money this has raised. I cannot believe it. We need to do a Kickstarter.
I already told you we do.
We were coming up with Kickstarter ideas before the show. Roberto had a good idea. We might we're gonna make millions.
Keep lighting my face.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, cool. Let's wrap it up there because we're obviously out of daylight.
Yes.
We started the show.
We'll be back next week.
Late. All right. Hey, if you wanted to find our show on the internet, Roberto, how would you go about doing that?
You can subscribe in iTunes. It's
True.
Just look for the user friendly and look for us going like this.
Not that you can see it.
And
if you're listening to the audio or video at this point.
It's the shrug.
Look for the shrug.
And then you can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/userfriendlyshow, or I'm also uploading it to my YouTube, youtube.com/throwboypillows.
So many great places.
And you can find us on Facebook. Why do you keep turning it?
Sorry, I keep forgetting that it's right in your face. I'm not used to using my computer as a lighting device.
Well, okay.
So, sorry.
Yeah, and then what about you personally?
Okay, if you want to see my beautiful tweets, you can do so on Twitter. I'm just at Erfon, ERFON. And you can search for the Cultcast if you haven't ever heard that show. Just go on iTunes, search for Cultcast, CULTCAST. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it for me.
You can find me on Twitter at Roberto Hoyos, ROBERTOHOYOS. And you can also find everything that I do over at throwboy.com. So that's about it. Thank you for watching User Friendly. This has been the best show in the
best user friendly you're gonna see all this week long.
New episodes
of the UF come out
every
between Monday and
morning.
Thursday. It just kind of depends. Sorry for the late audio this last week. Thanks everyone for sticking with us, and please go buy at least 100 Mike Tees at MikeTees.com.
And until next time, we'll see you guys. Next time. Faves and raves and faves and raves and